Hello everyone, and welcome to JNC Better Living's Rooted Yoga. Today's practice is going to be focused on strength building moves, sun salutations, and flow that connect our movement to our breath. So let's get started in child's pose. Come down to your mat, bring your knees to mat width, and have your big toes touching, and then walk your hands forward. Forehead finds the mat, and just connect to your breath. First, just start to observe the natural ebb and flow of your breath. And start to even out the length of your inhales and your exhales. Breathing in for a count of 3 or 4 or 5. Breathing out for a count of 3, 4, or 5. Whatever comes naturally to you. And then let's take that breath in and out of the nose, which helps us to build heat in our body. And now on your next breath in, really try to fill up your chest, your ribs, expand your belly, and then let go of the air out of your belly, out of your ribs, out of your chest. Breathe in one more time, fill up your back body, back ribs, lower back. Get the air in every crevice you can. Exhale completely, letting go of all the stale air that doesn't serve you. On your next breath in, press into your hands, come up to your knees and hands, and we'll do some cat-cow poses. First, making sure that our wrists are under our shoulders, our knees are under our hips. Spreading our fingers really wide on the mat. And as we breathe in, we're going to look forward. Create this nice arch in your back, lifting your tailbone up to the sky. And as you exhale, lower your gaze to your thighs, round your back, and draw your tailbone down. 2 more like that. Breathe in, look forward, roll your shoulders down and back, lifting your tailbone up. Breathe out, lower your head, relax your shoulders, round through your entire back. And then last one, breathe in, look forward, chest opens up, draws forward, hips lift, tailbone lifts. Engage through your core. And then exhale, slowly and completely relaxing your head. Gaze drops to your thighs, rounding through your back. On your next breath in, come to a tabletop position, flat back. And then we're going to take our left foot and stretch it back behind us. And just breathe in and out, rolling over the ball of your foot. Maybe moving your shoulders a little forward, over your wrists and then back, getting a nice stretch in that leg. And then on your next breath in, lift your left leg up and behind you so that it sticks straight. Engage through your core. Gaze should stay down. And as you breathe in again, maybe lift your right arm, stretch it forward, creating this really nice line of energy from your fingertips of your right hand to the toes of your left foot. Breathe in, find length. Draw your abs up and in. As you breathe out, try to bring your knee to your elbow in a nice crunch, rounding through your back. Breathe in, reach your hand forward and your leg back. Breathe out as the elbow and knee meet. Breathe in, stretch out, fingers and toes, and then crunch one more time. Breathe in one more time, reach, stretch, and then drop your hand and your knee. And let's wiggle our hips side to side, loosening those up. And now let's try that on the other side. So press into your right palm, spreading your fingers wide, wrist under your shoulder, and then stretch your right foot back, kind of rolling over the ball of your foot, finding some stretch. Flex. Now lift that right leg up so it's parallel to your mat. Flex your back foot, engage your core. And on your next in-breath, reach your left arm forward so that now you're stretching your left fingertips forward and your right toes back. Engaging your core, trying to create this parallel line of energy. Breathe in, really lengthen. Breathe out as you crunch your right knee to your left elbow. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe out, crunch. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe out, crunch. Breathe in last time, stretch. And then plant your left hand and plant your right knee. Take another little shimmy with your hips. And then on your next breath in, we're going to do what's called gate pose. Take your left foot and take it off your mat, and then stretch your right leg back as you raise your right arm up to the ceiling for a nice variation on a side plank. Breathe in, lift your chest and your gaze toward the ceiling. Breathe out. You can take your right arm and take it over your head if you want. Otherwise, it can remain straight up, creating this nice long line of energy from your right fingertips reaching toward the ceiling to your left hand planted on the ground. Breathe in one more time here. Breathe out, right hand comes down. Left knee pivots so that your leg is back on the mat. And then bend into your right leg. Let's do that little shimmy again, waking up our hips. And now we'll do that on the other side. So I'm going to be facing away from you. Right leg pivots off the mat. Left leg straightens. Left arm reaches up to the sky for a nice gate pose variation of our plank. Looking up to the ceiling, energetically lifting your chest up, reaching your fingertips, and as we exhale, bringing our hand back to the mat, pivoting our right foot, and then planting our left knee. One more time, a little shimmy here. And now we're going to take our forearms down to the mat and then press our feet back, coming into a variation on plank pose, a forearm plank for just a moment here, building a little more heat, engaging through your core, pressing out through your heels, making sure that your elbows are under your shoulders. A couple breaths here. One more time, inhale. And exhale, lower your hips to the mat, keeping your forearms where they are, and then lifting our chest up, looking forward, and pressing into the tops of your feet so that you're pressing into the mat. This is Sphinx pose, rolling your shoulders down and back, breathing in as you lift, breathing out as you sink deeper. Engage your abs, really lifting your stomach off the mat and expanding your chest forward, opening your heart, rolling your shoulders down and back. Breathe in, lift the crown of your head up to the sky, and breathe out. Take your elbows and point them out and bring your forehead down to the mat. We're going to take Shalabhasana. So let's either take our hands behind us, and they can be palms facing upward, and then we're going to lift our head and our chest up off the mat as we breathe in, really pressing your pubic bone into the mat, pressing your feet into the mat, lifting your shoulders up, and breathe out, lower all the way down. If that doesn't seem like too much of a challenge for you, you can take it one step further this time. And as you lift your chest and your shoulders off the mat, you can also touch your big toes together and then lift them up off the mat, and then stretch your arms up and back. As you breathe, don't forget to breathe in, allowing your breath to help you in the pose, and breathe out, lowering all the way down. On your next breath in, plant your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, and press up into a plank pose, wrists under your shoulders, heels pressing back, crown of your head reaching forward. One more breath, in and out here. And on your next breath, lift your sits bones up to the sky, roll over your feet, and then press into your hands, coming into downward dog. Make sure that your fingers are really spread wide. You want to press in particular into your index finger and thumb. And then you want to roll your upper arm bones out. Press your chest toward your thighs. Knees can be bent or straight here. And find a nice upside down V. Now let's pedal out our feet, rolling onto the ball of one foot, pressing the heel of the other back, and then alternating with the opposite foot. Roll over your feet here just a couple of times, and then settle in to some stillness, reconnecting to your breath through your nose, inhales and exhales of even length. On your next breath in, bend your knees, look forward, and then either walk or hop toward the front of your mat, coming into a forward fold. Let's take our feet now about shoulder width apart. Take your hands to the opposite elbow and just hang here in a ragdoll for a moment, swaying side to side. Inversions are really great for your body. They help to de-stress. They help to lower your heart rate. And it's just really good to give your neck and your head a break from having to stay in its position as we're at the computer or walking or whatever. This just lets it totally go. Now on your next breath in, bring your hands to your shins, half lift. Press your chest forward as you roll your shoulders down and back. Reach the crown of your head forward. Try to get your hips lined up over your ankles, which is not an easy thing to do, but that's what we're kind of going for here, because that helps us to get a really nice posture and stretch in our lower body. Stay here for another minute, just soaking in all the benefits. Breathe in one more time. Really press into your shins. Reach the crown of your head forward. And exhale, drop your hands to the mat. Head hangs heavy one more time. Now heel toe your feet together. And then bend your knees deeply as you roll one vertebrae up at a time, coming into our mountain pose, Tadasana. Hands at your sides. Let's take a moment to find the perfect posture in this pose. Our toes can either be touching with our heels slightly apart, or our feet can be a little bit more apart, like hips distance, whatever feels more comfortable on your body. Then really press into all four corners of your feet and lift up away from the arches of your feet, engaging your calf muscles. Lift up from your knees and engage your thighs, stacking our hips over our ankles. Now coming up, engaging your core, lifting through your side body, expanding through your chest, rolling your shoulders down and back, lifting the crown of your head up toward the sky. Chin is parallel to the floor. Everything is engaged here. Shoulders are stacked over your hips, which are over your ankles, and you are properly aligned. Your bones are supporting all of your weight. Everything is engaged. This is a very strong pose. That's why it's called mountain pose. On your next breath in, lift your arms up and overhead and have your right hand grab your left wrist for a nice side bend. Lift up and bend over to your right side, pressing into the outer edge of your left foot and trying to keep your shoulders in line, not not moving this way or that way, not overarching your back, just finding a nice stretch. We don't stretch enough side to side in our daily exercise or routine. On your next breath in, come back to standing. Arms and fingers reach up to the sky. Switch hands. This time your left hand grabs your right wrist, and then bend up and over to your left. Again, engaging your core, not overarching your back. Trying to keep the alignment. Breathe in, stand up, reach your hands up, and then spread your arms out wide and swan dive forward, hinging at your hips, coming to a forward fold. Bending into your knees generously if you'd like. Now we're going to take that a few more times. Half sun salutation. Bring your hands to shins, half lift. As you breathe in, breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, circle your arms down, around, and up, reaching up to the sky. Breathe out, right hand grabs left wrist as you side bend to the right. Breathe in now, reach up, fingers reach toward the sky. Left hand find right wrist as you bend to the left. Breathe in one more time, reach up. Breathe out, spread your arms, swan dive forward, forward fold, hinging at your hips. Breathe in, half lift, hands to shins. Expand through your chest, roll your shoulders down and back. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, circle your arms down, around, and up. Hands reach up. Breathe out, hands to heart center. Okay, now we'll keep going with this and move into our sun salutation B. So breathe in, reach your arms high, and breathe out, sink into your knees, coming into chair pose. Engage through your core, energetically press your thighs toward one another and reach your fingers up, in letting your hips sink a little bit deeper than you want to, rolling your shoulders down and back. Arms can be wide here if you've got tightness in your shoulders. Breathe in, press into your feet, lift up. Breathe out, swan dive forward, coming to forward fold. Now stretch your feet back behind you, coming into plank pose, then chaturanga, bending at your elbows, coming halfway down, rolling over the top of your feet, pressing your chest up, keeping your thighs lifted off the mat, rolling your shoulders down and back, upward dog, and then rolling over your feet, pressing your sits bones up to the sky, coming into downward dog. Breathe in, left leg reaches up and back. Breathe out, step your left foot forward. Right foot pivots. Lift your arms high, coming into warrior one. Front knee is bent. Breathe out, hands come down. Pivot on your back foot. Step your left foot back. Chaturanga again, bending at your elbows, keeping your thighs lifted, pressing into your hands, lifting the crown of your head up, upward dog, and then rolling over our feet back to downward dog. Taking that on the other side now. Right leg lifts up and back. Right leg steps forward between your hands. Pivot on your back foot, coming up into warrior one on this side. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, hands come down. Step your right foot back, chaturanga, up dog, and down dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Hop forward or step forward. Press into your shins, half lift. Forward fold. Toes together, heels slightly apart. Lift up into our warrior chair pose. One more breath here. And then breathe in, reach up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's take a moment. Reconnect to our breath. Close your eyes. And we'll do that one more time. So breathe in. Hands come up. Sink into your knees, coming into our chair pose. Engage your thighs energetically toward one another. Reach your sits bones back so that it's like you're sitting in a chair. Breathe out, forward fold. Hands come to the mat, head hangs heavy. Breathe in, half lift, hands to shins. Breathe out, hands to the mat. Step back now, this time with the opposite foot, coming into plank pose, then chaturanga, upward dog, and downward dog. Left leg comes up and back, and then step forward, coming into our warrior one, arms raised to the sky. Breathe out, hands come down, step back, chaturanga, upward dog, and downward dog. Right leg lifts up and back. Step forward between your hands. Pivot on your back foot. Warrior one. Hands come down. Step back. Chaturanga. Upward dog. And downward dog. Let's drop our knees to the mat. Coming into child's pose. Pressing your sits bones back to your heels. Resting our head. Reconnecting to our breath. You can take a little movement here if you like. Rolling your forehead from side to side. Or you can shimmy your hips back and forth if movement feels good. If stillness feels good, you can find that too. Once again, coming back to our breath, steadying it out. Even inhales and exhales. Breathing through our nose. On your next breath in, press into your hands. Come back to your hands and knees. Then tuck your toes, spreading your fingers wide. Press your hips back up to the sky for downward dog. Breathe in, bend your knees, look forward. Hop to the front of your mat. Breathe in, half lift, hands to shins. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, circle your arms down, around and up to the sky. Breathe out, hands through heart center. Breathe in, circle your arms down, around and up. Breathe out, hinge at your hips, swan dive forward, forward fold. Breathe in, half lift, hands to shins. Breathe out, forward fold. Now we're going to take our right foot and step back. Make sure that your feet are like they're on skis or railroad tracks. They shouldn't be lined up, otherwise you might lose your balance. We're going to press through your right back heel and really firmly ground into your front foot, all four corners, like when we were in Tadasana. And then press into your legs as you lift your arms up, coming into crescent pose. Breathe in, expand through your chest and your collarbone. Draw your shoulders down and back. Hands can either be reaching straight up or you can be in cactus. Really energetically engaging your thighs, rolling your tailbone down and back, and engaging through your core. Now we're going to just try a little twist. So breathe in, stretch your left hand forward, your right hand back. Breathe out, lift both hands up and face forward. Breathe in, left hand forward, right hand back. Breathe out, stretch up. Breathe in one more time, left hand forward, right hand back. Breathe out. And then we're going to take our right hand down, left arm up, coming into an easy twist. One more breath in, reach up, gaze up. Breathe out, left hand comes down, right foot steps back, chaturanga, upward dog, and downward dog. Bend your knees, look forward, hop or step to the front of your mat. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, circle your arms down, around and up. Breathe out, hands through heart center. Breathe in, circle your arms down, around and up. Breathe out, swan dive forward. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, forward fold. This time we're stepping our left foot back, making sure we're on railroad tracks or that our feet are about hip distance apart. Really pressing into our feet, pressing our left heel back, making sure we can find all four corners of our front foot as we press up into crescent lunge. Front knee should be at about a 90-degree angle, engaging through your core. Back knee can be bent if that feels better for you, or the leg can be straight. Roll your shoulders down and back. Lift the crown of your head. Breathe in, right hand forward, left arm back. Breathe out, reach up. Left arm forward, left arm back, right arm forward. Lift up. And one more time. I'm going to come down into an easy twist. Left arm down, right arm up. One more breath here. As we breathe in, we gain length. Crown of the head reaches forward. Energetic line of energy from our heel all the way to our head. As we breathe out, we twist deeper from our middle upper back region. On your next exhale, take your right hand down, step your left foot back, chaturanga, upward dog, and downward dog. That should build a lot of heat and core strength. Now we're going to take our knees to the mat. Keep your toes tucked under, and take your sits bones all the way back to your heels. Trying to give your feet a little love and attention right now. And close your eyes. Try to press into and spread all of your toes. We use our feet a lot throughout our day, walking and standing, and this really helps to wake them up. It might not feel great, but power through it if you can. But if you feel actual pain sensation, then please do come out of it. But this is such a nice stretch for your toes that if we can give some time here, it will pay benefits later. Keeping your hands at your sides, or you can be bringing them to heart center. I've got my eyes closed just to focus on my breath for a moment. 2 more breaths here if we can do it. And then take your hands to the mat, untuck your toes, and then take this nice movement that feels really good, banging the tops of your feet into your mat a little bit. And that really woke up my feet. All right, now come back to your seat, swinging your legs to one side, and then we're going to do some seated positions. So in this pose, we want to make sure that we remove the upholstery or excess skin so that we're sitting right on our sits bones here. And then we want to have our toes flexed, pointing up to the ceiling. We want to make sure that we're really engaging our legs, pressing them into the mat, and sitting up straight. A lot of times we can put a blanket or a mat, or take your mat and roll it up behind you and create that as a little cushion so that you can sit up even taller and you're not crouching like this, which is bad for your back. So however you can find some props, or sit yourself up so that you feel nice and tall. And then we're going to take our arms up and overhead. As we breathe in, reach up. As you breathe out, like we did earlier, hinge at your hips and reach forward. You don't have to get your head all the way to your shins or anything. You don't have to touch your feet. You can have your hands on the mat and just reach your chest forward. Again, hinging from here, not bending from your back, keeping a flat, straight back. Crown of head reaches forward. Wherever your hands feel like they're in a good position, they can leverage you a little bit to reach further, but you don't want to overstrain or overstretch. You just want to find that nice balance, kind of on your edge where you know you're working, but not overdoing it. This should feel good, this nice forward fold. And it really doesn't matter where your head can get to, as long as you're feeling lots of length through your spine and engaging your core to help you with the forward movement. One more breath in here. And as we exhale, walking ourselves back up. Now we'll take a nice little twist. So we're going to take our left foot, plant it on the mat after we cross it over our right extended leg. Then we're going to take our right arm, wrap it around our left leg, and reach our left arm up to the sky, flexing our right toes, and then twisting from our upper back, finding a nice twist. And then when we've gone as far as we can, you can lower that left arm to support you a little bit, but you really want to find length through your spine here. As you breathe in, find length. As you breathe out, twist a little deeper. Breathe in, find length, twist a little deeper. Try not to put too much weight on your hand that's behind you. You really want to find, again, the strength in your core to support you. And we want to have our crown of our head reaching up. And let's come back to center now and switch feet. So left leg extends, right leg lift up and over, pressing into that right foot, pressing into the big toe of that right foot, lifting your left arm up, and then reaching around. Some people like to do this, which can give you more leverage, but whatever's more comfortable for you. Wrap your arm around your thigh if that's good. Reach your right arm up to the sky, finding that twist, using your core strength, twisting as much as you can, and then you can lower that right arm. This is so we don't push and twist and use our neck and create movements and twists that are not, using your core strength, which is what we want to work on. So breathe in, find length, crown of your head reaches up, breathe out, twist. You can keep your gaze forward. You can twist your head a little bit, but again, a lot of people have sensitivity in their neck, so you don't want to overdo that. One more breath in here. And exhale. Coming back to forward. We're going to plant our feet. Just scooch forward a little bit, and if you use your mat like I did, roll it back out. And then we're going to come into Navasana boat pose. So we're going to take our hands behind our thighs. First, find a lot of length. Really, again, stacking our shoulders over our hips. And then we can lower back slightly so that we're at about a 45-degree angle or so. And then we can lift our shins so that they're parallel to the earth. And we can stay here, or we can reach our arms out. The key is to engage your core muscles here. Really find the strength through that core. As we breathe in. If you find that you're rounding in your back, you can grab the backs of your thighs again, because again, the most important thing is the posture and the integrity of your spine, and overdoing it can create injury. So we always want to be careful that we're using the right parts of our body to get into these poses, and that's our muscles and alignment of our joints. So if you like to be like this, that's great, as long as you've got that nice line through your spine. And then put your feet down, give yourself a nice squeeze. Excellent job using your core today and focusing on your breath. Now we're going to take our hands out in front of us and then slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. bringing our back and our head all the way to the mat. And now we'll do a bridge pose. So bring your feet in or shimmy your butt closer to your heels. And you want your knees to be pointing up at the sky and about hip distance apart. And you should be able to touch or almost touch your heels with your fingertips. Sometimes you can't quite get there, but that's about the position of most people's bodies, even though every body is different. Okay, now we want to find those four corners of our feet and press into them as we lift our hips up toward the ceiling. And now, if you like, you can shimmy your shoulders under you, clasp your hands, and press your forearms into the earth as you press your hips up even more toward the ceiling, and then press your knees forward so that you create this, again, nice length in your spine. The goal of this pose is not how high you can go, but really creating that slight back bend with a lot of spinal integrity. Pressing into our feet, we lift our thighs, we lift our hips, and then remove our arms as we slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time, returning our tailbone to the earth. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to do a little happy baby. So we'll bring our knees into our chest and then grab onto either the bottoms of your feet from reaching your arms toward the outside, or some people like to reach toward their inner, like their insole. And if that feels more comfortable, or if you can't reach your feet at all, you can grab onto your ankles or your calves. We want to bring our knees into our armpits. We want to keep our tailbone on the mat. We want our feet to be parallel to the ceiling. And we want to keep our shoulders also on the mat. So again, the integrity of the pose, incredibly important. The length in the spine from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. Creating this perpendicular line with your shins to the ceiling. And now you can create a little movement here, swaying side to side, if that feels good. Giving your lower back a little massage. And now I like to close my eyes. Just come back to the natural cadence of your breath. This should feel really relaxing. Happy baby pose just reminds me of adorable infants that are so delighted in their own being. Right? Just picture the happiness that they feel because of the joy of who they are. This pose reminds me to come back to that happiness comes from within. Nothing we can buy can make us feel joy. What we do and the integrity of our spirit is what brings us joy. So just be you, be genuine. You're beautiful. Take our feet now down to the mat. We're going to take our feet wide, mat distance apart, and let our knees fall in just for a moment. Put your hands on your belly. And let's take some deep breaths in through our nose, like we did at the beginning, filling up our chest, our ribs, and our belly. And see if you can feel your belly get bigger as you breathe in as much air as you can. And then exhale. Feel your belly deflate. Let the air go out of your ribs, out of your chest, out through your nose. And let's do that a couple more times. Really taking in as big of a breath as you can through your nose. Filling up your belly, expanding like a big balloon that's going to pop any second. And then letting the air go from the balloon as it deflates. All that air comes out your nose. One more time. Biggest breath now. Inhale through your nose. Really filling up your chest, your ribs, your belly. It's going to pop. And then let go. Completely exhaling all that air. Now let's extend our legs toward the bottom of the mat, letting our feet fall open. Make any adjustments that you want to here with clothing so that you're completely comfortable. I like to tuck my shoulders under just a little, and then tuck your chin a little bit into your chest to find a lot of length in the back of your neck. We're going to stay here in Shavasana for a few minutes. Feeling the effects of the practice we just did, and really remembering that the happiness comes from within and is in our control. As you close your eyes here on the mat, you could truly be anywhere. You could be in a palace. You could be on a vacation. But with your eyes closed, you don't really know. You can't see where you are. And so you have to go inward. Find that beautiful spirit that you were born with. Find that happy baby inside. And let everybody see it. Let it heal you. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana here longer, please do so. But if you need to get on with the rest of your day, I will guide you to the closure of our practice. So wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll out your wrists and your ankles. Take a nice stretch. Reaching your toes forward, your hands up and overhead. And now curl into a ball one last time, bringing your knees into your chest, hugging yourself, creating this nice squeeze. Now let's roll over to one side or the other, letting your knees fall to the floor. Coming into a fetal position. Also a wonderful baby pose. Pose of grounding, connection to the earth. With the strength of your hands, press yourself up into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed right now. Bringing your hands to heart center. Remembering your inner joy. The light in me. The joy in me, the baby. That is happy. And my soul honors and respects that in each of you. May you find true happiness on the inside, and may that project out to the whole world. Bow your head. And lock in that intention. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Comment below if there are areas that you'd like me to address in future yoga practices. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more free rooted yoga from JNC Better Living. Namaste.